Hi, welcome to Kare's Heart, and I want to share with you what I've been doing this week in my art. I'm in the beginning stages of part 2 of Milan Art Institute Mastery Program, and we're just getting into some things that are totally different that I've never done before. This week we've been doing collages, and and inks and spray paint and all sorts of things as an underlying base for acrylics and then oil. And it's been fun. I'm still not doing the content that I'm wanting to do, but we're getting there. So anyway, I want to show you what I did this week. This right here this is on paper, but it's on a very heavy duty paper. And I have oils, I have all sorts of designs underneath, and unless you see it up close, you really can't see what's behind there. But this is just acrylics with a little bit of oil on the very top of it. And that was kind of fun, but I'm not really wanting to paint more flowers. I've done a bunch. But it's been fun. But last week I was explaining to you how my studio has become my place of worship. And, creativity comes from God. So anytime you're creating, you are accessing your own divinity. I was reading Yogananda, how many of you have read Autobiography of a Yogi? I read that in 4th grade, and it transformed my life. It really did. But this is all from Yogananda, and he said, you and Source are the same thing. Because when I am calling forth something into being, like creating a painting or whatever I'm wanting to have happen, it's not coming from the outside. It's emerging. It's emerging from within me. Because I'm not separate from the field of all possibility. Isn't that a great way to think? That's the way I'm starting to think. And that was what Yogananda, was saying the other night. I was watching a video from Yogananda. And creativity, who's the creator? Who's the creator? Whatever you think the creator is, whether that's God or Buddha or Krishna or whatever, there is a creator. Very few people don't believe that something how could you possibly believe that something as magnificent as our bodies and this earth just happened, just happened. I don't think so. Anyway, we think about the creator as being outside of ourselves, but I really believe that the temple is inside me. And when I create, that's coming from the creator. And if I acknowledge that, if I recognize the creator and talk to the creator and have the creator create through me so that the creation is a gift, that's just putting a whole new light on what I do in terms of my artwork or anything else, my businesses. You hear the term cosmic consciousness. Do you know what that means? This is also from Yogananda. the field of pure, there's a field of pure awareness that knows no separation, that knows no lack. When we recognize that, we are in our true divinity. So if you can drop into the recognition, that the felt, embodied, cellular recognition that I am not separate from the source of all there is. So I've been painting that way, and it's just put everything in a whole different light. So let me go back to what I've been doing this week. So when I do a collage, I tear paper and it can be wrapping paper, it can be newsprint, it can be, you can buy books of really neat papers now too, which I did at Michael's the other day. And you tear them off and you paste them down, but you paint on top of them, and you do transparent paint, so some of it can show through. And what I thought I'd have this one done, but I didn't get much done yesterday. But let me show you the one that I've been working on today. Oops, hold on. Yeah. This is at the ugly stage where I have an entire big sheet of collage stuff. Down in the corner here, it looks like a hobbit hole in a tree. And back here is a fairy. And up here are butterflies. And you can see them because I just have the transparent layer on right now. But this is my source. And I've just got got some paint down. It's not even close to being done. But that's what I've been working on today with the collage behind it. And I think I can show you some of the collage stuff showing through here. Let me see if I can do this. Look, you can see a butterfly coming through. There's butterflies. Over here, you see that little fairy? And then if you look down here, this is like a hobbit hole. So this is, I'm sorry I did it on paper. They wanted us to do these on paper, but I would have rather done this on my canvas. But it's okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. But one of the things that has come up for me this week, I've been creating, what is it I really want to do next? And I'm thinking I really would, and I'd love to hear your opinions of this, if this is something that you would like to listen to. I've been thinking about doing a podcast called The Joyful Creative, which would be talking about all the things that are creative and all the things that make you joyful. I mean, we're talking about what do you put in your body? How do you sleep? What do you eat? What kind of water are you drinking? On and on and on like that. But also, where's your creativity coming from? And how to make that divine. So I've been thinking, because I could do many, many sessions on the joyful creative, because that's who I've become. A lot of it's because I have been using Hercules spray, which is all herbs in molecular form that go right into my bloodstream that have brought my health and my consciousness and everything just to a high level. I'm 78 and I feel like I did when I was 40. And one of the first things that I noticed was that when I started using that, I became filled with joy because things started just reversing. And I just was happier when the circulation in your body opens up and the blood gets clean, and then the immune system starts functioning and stem cells get stimulated. Everything, honest to God, everything gets better. And you even reverse in biological age, which, I didn't even know that was possible, but I'm seriously like 30 years younger. I have no plaque in my arteries. Every condition I've ever had is gone. So I'm joyful. But it has also set me on this new creative journey to fulfill something that I've been wanting to do since I was in school. And that is, get my master's in art and really pursue it as a professional artist. So this all is part of a journey that is amazingly healthy and happy. And, there's a book called The Power of Force. And it's about, it has a chart in it that's a chart of consciousness. And at the very bottom of that chart, the lowest that you can get is depression and low self-worth and just, the worst you can feel, the worst you can have things happen in your life. That's low frequency. As you raise up in frequency, you raise up in health and you raise up in consciousness. And that in itself, we need to be looking for what raises our consciousness. And it's all the things that I've been talking about. It's putting real food in your body, not junk. I mean, 90% of what's in a grocery store is not food. I mean, seriously, not food. If it comes in a box and it's preserved and processed, ultra processed and chemicalized, it's not food. There's no life force in it. And that's low frequency food, really low frequency. You can't get high frequency health from low frequency food, I'll tell you. I've tried that. I bet you have too. Have you ever eaten like a whole big bag of M&Ms or something that's you should never put in your body anymore, and then feel horrible afterwards? And for quite a while, and it takes a while to get that cleaned out of your body. Well, I don't do that anymore. I'm getting healthier and happier and younger and more creative. So that's what's happened with me. I've gotten more creative. And at 78, how many people are going, I'm going to get my master's in art and I'm going to start a new podcast and I have so much energy. And I think I am a joyful creative now. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you today. I should have more works done. It's like every time I turn around and I watch one of the Milan art videos and they say, oh, you need to have this and this and this, and I don't have it. I'm another trip down to Michael's, which is not close by. Or I order from Blick or Milan, and I have to wait a few days for stuff to come in. So I think I have everything I'm going to need now for quite a while, but it's slowed me down to have to do that. But I like going to Michael's. Don't you love buying art tools? I have so many new art tools, things that I may or may not use, but I've got them. So I just wanted to share my ideas today about what I'm doing and what where this is leading me. You know, I walk into my studio and guess who's there? You know, the Holy Spirit guiding me. And when I run into problems like I did with that building that I was painting a couple of weeks ago, and it got all whopper-jawed, it ended up being just a delightful experience of creating. You know, anything you create has never been created before. Like, even though this is not lovely, nobody ever created that before. And when it's done, it may look decent. And I look at what I'm creating is, you know, God created the universe. God created the planets and the animals and us. And that's who we are. We're creators. But it's kind of like, you know, when you think about, oh, the rivers running into the ocean. The river and the ocean are made out of the same thing. The ocean's just bigger, but there's no way to separate them. That's the way we are with the Creator. Whatever you perceive that to be, that ocean, we're part of that ocean. And the more I realize that, the more I realize everything that's around me I've created. And I'm not just talking paintings, I'm talking about my house, my family, my life. I've created that. There's so much interesting stuff going on with quantum physics that's proving this to be absolutely real. I mean, if you go down to the size of an atom, you know, when I was in school, an atom looked like a round circle with, you know, like planets circling around it. Did you know that in an atom, there's nothing that's real? You can go smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And behind everything is nothing, is energy, creative life force. So we're creating our world, we're creating our life. Let's do this really well. Let's create the best life ever. Let's create joy and happiness and consciousness and peace and love and brotherhood, sisterhood. We're creators. We're divine. When we're judging, when we're condemning, when we're thinking negative stuff, we're creating that too. And whatever frequency you're holding in your body, whatever state of being you're in, that's what you're drawing to you. I don't get jerks in my life anymore. Because I'm just not there. I don't even, that's not part of my world. I mean, I can see it, but I don't watch the news. So the more we get quiet, breathe, honor the temple of our body with whatever we put in it, the best stuff with life force in it, the more conscious we become and the more aware we become of the life in everything around us, and how we're so connected to everything. One of the things I've been connected to my whole life, and I may have told you this before, but when I was little, I used to play with fairies. And, people, I had to keep that quiet because I realized that other people weren't playing with fairies or seeing energies or angels or whatever around. But they're there. On a spectrum, like a radio, if you just take the one, say it goes from 1 to 100, and the 1% in the middle is what we can see, what we can hear, what we can feel, what we can taste, what we can, I don't know, I'm missing one, but you know what I'm talking about. Everything else, the other 99%, is beyond our abilities with those five senses to even know it's there. Think of what's around us that we don't even see or hear or touch or smell or taste. That's the other one. Most of everything is beyond our senses. So I want to paint that gives people a sense beyond their senses. So anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about today. I'm practicing recognizing the perfection, the beauty, the peace, the joy, the love. And if I'm not seeing it, all I have to do is raise my frequency. And you can do that just by breathing and slowing down and being aware and listening for that still small voice. Because we are being loved and communicated with. And we are communicating with the whole universe. One of the reasons that I chose painting is because it's an international language. I can paint something, and it doesn't matter what language you speak. You'll be able to see it and hear it, and you'll be able to understand it. Because all of the information you need will be in that 3D painting. I mean, it's on a 2D paper, but we're learning how to make that 3D. And meanwhile, we're all moving into 5D. So this is an interesting time. It's a beautiful time to be here. Don't have any fear of what's happening. I know there's just crazy stuff going on in the world, but our Mother Earth is shaking off the negative frequencies. And what we'll be left with is all good. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. I'll see you next week. I appreciate you coming and spending a little time with me. Next week I'll have something really beautiful to share with you. So thanks for coming. Blessing everybody.